What is happening, barbecue fans? You know, a lot of barbecue chefs and barbecue joints alike are judged by their sauce alone. So today, I'm going to show you how to make my signature barbecue sauce, which my family affectionately refers to as the Bald Crooner Especialle. It's nice and sweet and tangy, it's smoky, and it's got plenty of kick. The kind of spice that not only builds, but has some real staying power. Now, if you're looking for a 5-minute ketchup mix-up, this is not the video for you. This one takes some time, but it's one of the best sauces you'll ever have. All right, everyone, let's get started. Now, most of the items that you're going to need to make this sauce, you probably already have in your kitchen. They're pretty common. However, to make the smoky element as well as the spicy element, we're going to make two different purees. And this will give you a little bit more control on how much of each to put in. And don't worry, I'm going to print the recipe for you in the comments. So first, we're going to start with the smoky puree. I take an apple, an onion, and a jalapeno, and I'll put those in the smoker for about 3 hours. So the best time to make this part of the sauce is when you're already barbecuing. There's not much need for prep for these items. The jalapeno can go in as is. The onion, go ahead and slice that in half and take the skin off. Make sure you take the skin off of the onion because that'll protect the onion from the smoke, and also it's not going into the puree anyways. Then the apple, just pull the stem off, cut that down the middle. And then, of course, you can easily just use a spoon to get that core out of there. This hickory is really gonna hit those veggies hard. We're gonna puree that and throw it in the sauce and really bring some smokiness and the depth of flavor to that Bald Crooner sauce. You're gonna love it. Everybody, so it's time to take this off the smoker. I've had the veggies on here. This is Jasper, by the way. Jasper, you wanna get on out of the way before you get burned, boy? Had these veggies on here for about 3 hours. And as you can see, the onions have picked up a lot of smoke. These were snow white to begin with. The apples are nice and brown. I wouldn't eat these straight, but these are really gonna go nice in our sauce, everybody. And the jalapeno looks perfect. You're gonna take these smoky ingredients here and just toss them on in your food processor or blender. I'm gonna add about a cup of water. This is gonna help this to puree a little bit easier. And then just let it rip for a while because you really want this to be as smooth as possible. 2 minutes later. I make this sauce pretty often, so I put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze what I don't use. That way I don't have to smoke the vegetables every single time. But here's a little life hack for you. Take a Ziploc bag, put it into a coffee cup, and then you can pour the puree right in without too much mess. There's quicker and easier ways to get that smoky aroma, but this is the best. That hickory is going to come through perfect in the sauce. So now it's time to add some heat to the dish. Every barbecue sauce ought to have a little bit of spice. Now, most recipes you find, they're going to add a vinegar-based sauce like Tabasco or Red Hot, and those are tasty for chicken wings or pizza or anything like that. You know, the vinegar opens up your taste buds and really lets those hot peppers do the work there. But I'm going to show you how we add some actual real heat to this barbecue sauce. I like it spicy, and this is the type of heat that adds a delicious flavor, but it also really brings it, and it kind of builds. So you really get some nice complex depth of flavor there. What you're going to need to do is get a pan nice and hot. You're going to want to get some olive oil in there. What you need to get from the store are some of these pepper packets, basically, from Tampico. These are great. You can usually find these at any grocery store. I usually like to use the ancho chilies, but they didn't have any whole ancho chilies, so I'm using the taco sauce mix, which also works real nice. And I've also got about an ounce of crushed red chili. And this is really going to bring some nice heat, everybody. I'm also going to toss in a few of these garlic cloves. So you're going to toast these chilies to really develop the flavor. Go ahead and just toss that right there into the oil. It'll take a little while, so I'll speed this up, but do it over a little bit more than a medium heat. After you can tell after a while here, these are going to start to brown. Now be careful because this is going to make the air real hard to breathe. You want to do this with the kitchen being well ventilated, or even do this out on your barbecue grill, because it's really going to make it hard for everybody in the house. Now that you can see I've toasted these sufficiently, you're going to put about a cup of water in there to deglaze the pan. And that's basically going to take all those nice little burnt bits right off the bottom of the pan and enhance the flavor of these peppers. Add a little bit more water and put it in the blender for a while till it gets as smooth as possible. 3 minutes later. So do the same trick. Get you a Ziploc bag and put it in a coffee cup. I always make a little bit extra of this because I do this in big batches. And again, this is a bit of a process, so it'll save me some time on the next one. What I don't use today, I'll put in the freezer. So now that the smoky and the spicy elements are ready to go, we'll start building the rest of the sauce. We're going to start out with a 38-ounce bottle of your favorite brand of ketchup. You'll also want to have a cup of water on hand ready to go. But go ahead and dump that whole bottle into the pot. Now when you finish doing this, save your ketchup bottle so that you can use it to hold your barbecue sauce in. This won't hold it all, so you'll need an additional receptacle of your choice. Next, we're going to take that cup of water, but instead of throwing the whole thing into the pot, dump some of it back into the ketchup bottle. This way you can rinse out all of the ketchup and make sure that the whole thing is going into your barbecue sauce. Give that a good shake. All right. Then we're going to go on ahead and dump that back into the sauce. And then just toss the rest of the water in too. This next step is a great way to really build different layers for your sauce. I've got 3 different vinegars I'm going to add to the sauce, and each one brings a little something different to the table. We're going to use half a cup of balsamic vinegar. Balsamic really brings a nice richness and depth of flavor. All right, then we're going to do half a cup of red wine vinegar. This is going to give it just a little bit more bite. And last but not least, we're going to use half a cup of apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar is nice and tangy and has plenty of kick. At that point, go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of your favorite Worcestershire sauce. Liam Perrin's always a great one, but use whichever one you like, everybody. We're going to do 2½ tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Use your favorite. I like the white wine Dijons. We're going to do 2½ tablespoons of dry mustard, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of freshly cracked black pepper. Also, 2 cups of brown sugar. We're going to start out with a 1/4 cup of the spicy puree. Same thing with the smoky puree, everybody. We're starting with a 1/4 cup, but I've got the rest on hand in case I need to add some more. Once you've got everything added to the pot, just give it a good whisk. You're going to have to whisk it real well now, everyone, because the dry mustard will clump up on you, and you definitely don't want that. So stir it up real good. We're going to let this simmer for a few hours, and I mean just barely simmer, just a few bubbles here and there. But that's going to let the sugar caramelize and really let that character and flavor start to develop. 2 hours later. So now that this has been going for about 2 hours, I'm going to give it a quick taste. I'm checking this for sweet, salty, smoky, and spicy. That's pretty good on the sweet and the salty, but I think I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of the spicy element as well as the smoky element. Then we're going to stir this up and let it go for a little while longer. 2 hours later. At this point, the sauce has been simmering for about 4 hours, and I really don't want to let it cook any more than that. It's had enough time to develop a nice flavor. I'm going to taste this one more time to see if we adjust it. We're looking for spicy, smoky, sweet, and salty. The consistency's good. And as that stands, it's going to thicken up even more. but not too thick. It's gonna coat anything I glaze it with very nice, but let's give it a taste. For spicy, it's there. It's nice and spicy, but not unpleasant spicy. I could probably go a little bit more, but I like it where it's at. For sweet, I think it's perfect. At one point, I did add a couple tablespoons of maple syrup, but I like the sweet level. It's perfectly salty, and those smoked vegetables and apple really smoked the sauce up real well. Another Bald Crooner sauce done to perfection.